Hi there, this is Rose Maple from Artistic Innovations based out of Eustis, Nebraska. I am doing a project where I'm going to be stamping some denim, and I just did a video on how to make a flower, how to cut that, and then also how to cut a leaf on it. In order to have a plant look like it's growing on my denim, I'm going to have to make some stems. So I thought I would tell you a little bit about that process. So we have almost all of our components, and I had made this previously. It is a bud, and got our leaf. Actually, we have two leaves. We have a big leaf and a little leaf. They're a little bit different, but that's okay. This is fresh. This is not quite so fresh, and he went through the ringer and he's been used to stamp, so he's still alive and I can still use him, but he is definitely not as pretty as the new one, which you can actually see is starting to change color as well too. You can put this in water and then that will stop that. But for the purposes of our video and the short-term use of the stamp, I'm really not too worried about it. So let's go ahead and work on a stem. So with the stem, I'm going to do two things. The first one, I'm going to make a straight stem. And whenever we do the stamping with this, you'll be able to make the stem as long as you want to. This one here is going to be more of a curved stem, so you can give it a little bit of an angle. So let's just do a straight stem. And I'm going to go lengthwise on the potato here. And I'm just going to lightly draw my stem. It's going to be pretty straight. I like that. So now I'm going to go ahead and draw it a little bit deeper and cut down with my blade. You always want to use a sharp blade whenever you do this, and always be very conscientious whenever you do your cutting. Now let's get rid of this here. Let's just cut it down here so we can get rid of this in a few controlled chunks. All right, so I'm going to take my blade and push it in, and I'm going to saw away from me, and we'll get rid of the first chunk there. I'm going to go a little bit deeper on this. You want to go in small controlled movements, and there we go. See how deep that is? That's probably about 1/2 inch deep. You don't need to have it terribly deep, but I personally like it to be a little bit deeper whenever I go to do my stamping. So let's get rid of some of this excess here. One fatal swoop. You can definitely see the difference in it sitting out. It doesn't hurt anything. It just discolors. That's what real food does. Not quite deep enough. All right. So here's our stem. Now, one thing you want to be conscientious about is you want to have your top and your bottom the same width. Same way whenever you go to do this one that has more of a curve in it, you want to make sure that they're the same width. So whenever you stamp them together, they actually fit, and one is not a lot bigger than the other one, and the other one is a lot smaller. It'll fit together a lot bigger, or a lot better. I think we're good with that. Now you can also, you can make some details in here so it's not just straight. You could cut some little 45s in here and give it a little bit of personality. Give it a little bit of texture if you want to. You certainly don't have to. I'm going to just do one more. Okay. Call her good. That one's done. Well, actually, it's not done. Here's something that you could do. So this is a problem-solving thing. Whenever you go to do your stamping, let's just say we don't have the stuff trimmed off. We go to do our stamping here, and we accidentally touch the side of the potato down. Well, we're going to have our stamp, but then we're also going to have possibly a transfer of this. So one thing you can do to ensure that is to take your blade and just kind of cut away a little bit at the sides. I think I'm going to use my smaller one. The key to this is leaving enough meat up here to put your fork in. So whenever you are using your stamp, you can do that. And you can kind of tell how much meat you can cut away as you do this. This also gives you more control in seeing where you're putting this down. So if you're trying to match up, let's just say this is a stamp and we're trying to match this up, we'll put our paint on there. Here we go. And then here we can see exactly where to match up with our former line. So that is another reason to kind of clear it away up here on the edges, because it's going to be harder to tell that if you're not able to see it and you have a lot of extra there. So just getting rid of that proactively so we can marry them up a little bit better. Plenty of meat back here for our fork. I like to use just a regular fork. This is a small fork. We don't like these in our kitchen to use, so we go ahead, and it now lives in the stamping kit. So gently push it down, and now you have a beautiful stamp that's ready to go. You can line it up. Whenever you go to use this thing, you'll put paint on it. I'll do another video to show that, but you'll have your paint on there, and then keep it upright, and then just firmly press down on it, raise it up, and then you'll have your stamp. So we have our straight stem. Let's go ahead and do one that is a little curved. That way we can have some personality to our stems. And we're just going to sketch this out. Actually, let's use this guy to see how big this needs to be. Okay. Just do the drawing with your knife and end it the same way. Looks like a good line, so I'm going to make this a bit deeper. I'm going to come in here. Always be mindful of where your fingers are, where the blade is.